Naruto opened a pet shop in the ninja world. This video is purely for entertainment and does not infringe on copyrights or laws. The rights to the novel and image belong to the original author. We do not claim ownership. Don't like waiting and want to listen to this fanfic in full now? Subscribe to our Patreon, where you'll find the best fanfics. Chapter 101. Sasuke knew of only one person among his brother's circle of friends, Uchiha Shisui. Itachi reflected on himself. What made Sasuke think that Shisui was his only friend? No, another friend. Arms. This is the same as not seeing it at all. How can you remember things from your childhood? Sasuke complained in a low voice. Brother, can you not go? Come and have dinner with me at home tonight. Sasuke rarely leaves home, and even when he does, it's always with his family. He's actually very shy. It's okay if you don't want to go. Itachi smiled and rubbed Sasuke's head. I'll tell him you're not free today. Sasuke's eyes widened when he understood his brother's implication. Did my brother's friend invite me to? Yes, I was invited. They specifically asked me to go home and bring you over. Remember the blonde kid I met on the road last time? He's here too. Face? Itachi found his awkward look very amusing and wanted to tease him some more, but time was limited now. Thank you, Sasuke. Itachi also wanted Sasuke to have a friend of the same age. It would be good to let him interact more with Naruto. Maybe it would also allow Naruto, who is playing with his peers, to divert his attention away from Qing a little. Bags of food, including Sasuke's favorite tomatoes. Itachi briefly explained the situation. Uchiha Mikado and Kushina are good friends. She knows Qing. Although they have not met many times and have not seen each other for a long time, she has always had a good impression of Qing. When Itachi was as old as Sasuke, Mikado knew that Itachi liked to play with Qing and Shisui didn't feel so lonely. When Qing left the village, Itachi was depressed for a long time. Now, when she heard that they were going to Qing's house for dinner and that they were going to bring their own ingredients, her mother had misunderstood. Misaka was very supportive. And he stuffed all the things he had just bought into Itachi's hands. Sasuke, be good and listen to your brothers when you go out to play. He rubbed his two sons' heads and said, give my regards to Qing and Shisui. I understand, mother. Itachi was carrying several large bags of things in his hands. Shisui had been standing there at the door waiting for who knows how long. It seemed that he had a good harvest. After walking out of the clan territory, Itachi, with both hands occupied, asked Sasuke to hold on to his clothes and follow him carefully. However, that night at the Uchiha clan leader's house the table and twitched his eyes. Mikado, is our family in financial crisis? His mind was frantically searching for the recent spending activities within the clan, and it seemed that every expense was being burned. Looking at the whiteboard in front of me, I suddenly became worried whether the funds for subsequent preparatory activities could keep up with the plan, and whether the plan needs to be postponed further. Uchiha Mikado looked saying at her husband and smiled without anything. Chapter 102. Back to the evening, Qing was dealing with things in the kitchen. The kitchenware here is complete and brand new with no signs of being used. The quality is very good and it doesn't look cheap. The landlord must be doing charity. It's really stressful. The more you get, the greater the price you pay. Qing was a little worried about what he had promised. Although Shisui said that the other party's character can be completely trusted, what if he fails to do so and something goes wrong? It looked clean. Qing still wiped the kitchen thoroughly, and there was no problem using the stove. Naruto didn't want to wait there, so Qing gave him a small basin and put the dishes and chopsticks he would need tonight in it. I forgot to ask them to buy some seasoning. Let's make another run later. After finishing the work here, the people from the furniture store just delivered a bed that Qing bought. Naruto had never seen such a big bed before. He opened his mouth and looked at it with starry eyes. It's so big. Fortunately, the door here is wide enough and the stairs are not low, so there is just enough space to move it up when it is erected. Qing directed them to move the bed into the master bedroom and put it away. Sign your name on the single word. Thank you for your hard work. It's not hard. Welcome back next time, ninja brother. The person in charge went to the Hokage building with a bill with a hearty smile on his face. Sandai nodded after hearing the visitor's purpose. How much? He opened the drawer of his desk that contained his personal safe. Yes. The total number is XXXX Hokage. At the word waterbed written on the bill, items such as original price, discounted price, and gifts were all clearly written. His eyes fell on the final amount in Qing's signature, and he was silent for a few seconds. Thank you for your hard work today. I'll have someone send the money to your store tomorrow. It's not a big deal, you're too polite, Hokage. The person in charge was just an ordinary person, and he didn't know how the finances were approved by Hokage. However, it is normal to receive such a large sum of money the next day. Before leaving, the boss specifically instructed me to treat this customer well and to agree to whatever he said. Moreover, Lord Hokage will have someone deliver it to our door personally tomorrow. That is so thoughtful. After left, the third Hokage, who was the only one left in the office, showed a painful expression. When Kakashi said in the morning that Qing only picked one bed, he felt that this kid was being distant towards him. Now, he was being careless. Old man, I've lived almost my whole life, and I've never slept on such an expensive bed. Naruto was full of curiosity about this big bed. He poked it with his finger, and the whole finger sank into it, just like poking into water. Uncle, can I go up and play? Sure, but you have to wait until night to tear off the thin membrane on top when you make the bed. You can step on it, but you can't use it as a trampoline. It was too soft, and Qing was worried that if Naruto jumped on it, he would lose his center of gravity and spray his foot. Naruto leaned forward, almost sinking into it, but quickly bounced back, so comfortable rolling around. Qing watched him play with a smile on her face, walked to the window, and saw several people coming towards her. Chapter 103. The window was very close to the bed, and Qing could see the road outside the gate through the window. Qing waved towards Naruto. Little Naruto, come here, look over there. After hearing this, Naruto rolled to Qing's side, grabbed the windowsill and stood up. He looked in the direction Qing said, his eyes lit up. Itachi's brother, I saw him last time. At that time, I was too dirty to get too close to him. Uncle, can I play with him? Of course, but you should invite him to be your friend first. Qing briefly told Naruto about Sasuke's personality. When he is shy, he may make a proud expression to cover up, which means he is two-faced. After listening to this, Naruto narrowed his eyes slightly. What a trouble. No, little Sasuke is very interesting. You will find out after spending more time with him. Tsundere is really cute. Naruto stared at Qing's instigating expression for a few seconds, then reached out and hugged his neck. Okay, I will make friends with Sasuke. The little uncle seemed to hope so. You two will definitely get along well. Qing, who looked relieved, didn't know that Naruto's thoughts were a little distorted at this time. When Sasuke just stepped into the courtyard through the gate, he let out a hush sound. He looked at the plants and trees around him and had an indescribable feeling. His eyes widened slightly after he stepped into the room. He tugged at Itachi's clothes and whispered, Brother, this place looks like our home. Further inside, he found that the familiar feeling disappeared. It's a bit deserted and empty here. Their home is much more warm. Young Sasuke didn't know that this is what a new home with no signs of life yet feels like. After living there for a long time and having more things, it is no longer empty. Itachi asked Sasuke to wait in the living room while they carried the things to the kitchen and put them away. Sasuke seemed a little uneasy being left alone in a strange place. Hi. We meet again. Naruto came in from the door on the yard side, suddenly appeared and jumped in front of Sasuke, scaring Sasuke. Frightened, Sasuke took a few steps back and fell to the ground. Naruto was shocked. Sorry, I didn't mean it. He hurried over and tried to help Sasuke up. But Sasuke, whose fair face turned red because he felt too embarrassed, slapped his hand away and stood up before saying coolly, no need. Naruto knew that he was wrong first, so he apologized again. I'm sorry for scaring you, please forgive me, Sasuke. Since the other party knew his mistake and apologized sincerely, Sasuke's anger disappeared. Humph, I was not scared by you, I just didn't stand firmly. Sasuke turned his face away. You can't scare me. Naruto looked at Sasuke's reaction and found that it was just as his uncle said. Sasuke has very fair skin and is very cute. When his cheeks turn red, Naruto thinks he looks like a girl. Naruto had a rough idea in his mind of how to get along with Sasuke. He walked over and held Sasuke's hands with both of his. Hey, my name is Uzumaki Naruto, can you be my friend? Chapter 104. The Uchiha family is a prominent family, and Uchiha Itachi and Sasuke are the young masters of the family head. Perhaps because Uchiha Fugaku placed all his expectations on Itachi, he relaxed his requirements a little for his second son Sasuke, but there are still house rules that need to be followed. He seldom went out alone, and other children were all very respectful to him. So Sasuke had never played with children of his own age. He was excited when he received the invitation for the first time. But on second thought, it would be too casual to agree so quickly. My father said that the pride of the Uchiha people should not be allowed to be insulted. If you really want to make friends, then you must have friends like my brother and Shisui who you can trust with your back. Sasuke didn't understand at the time, and although he nodded seriously, he didn't understand what it meant. He asked his brother afterwards. My brother said that even when you are in danger and surrounded by enemies, you can deal with the enemy in front of you with confidence and leave the ones behind you to him. Not the kind that will stab you in the back or abandon you when you are in danger. But how do I know what kind of person you are? Sasuke wondered. After thinking about it seriously, Sasuke asked Naruto with a straight face, "Will you abandon me and run away if I encounter danger?" Naruto was stunned at first. His eyes widened before he answered affirmatively, "No." Pink pinky. Sasuke clenched his fist and extended his little finger. Naruto shuddered inexplicably, and with the same seriousness, he stretched out his little finger and hooked it, shaking it up and down under Sasuke's guidance. "My name is Uchiha Sasuke. I will not abandon you when you are in danger, and if anyone breaks the agreement, we will break off our friendship." "Yes. I will definitely keep my promise." Naruto suddenly became excited. "We will be good friends from now on." Sasuke. If at the beginning Naruto might have taken the initiative to make friends with Sasuke because of Qing's wish, now it is from the heart. He was touched by how seriously Sasuke took it. At this moment, the two little children formed a contract called friendship. Many years later, before Sasuke left again, he looked at Naruto who was in danger, and stopped after a struggle. He secretly tisket and protected Naruto's back again. "This is the last time." Sasuke spat and couldn't help but curl his lips. "I don't believe it." Because Sasuke has said this many times. Back to the present, the three older children who were quietly observing, peeked. The interaction between the two children at the door couldn't help but smile knowingly. Back in the kitchen, Qing saw several large bags filled to the brim on the table and her breath stopped. He walked over, his raised hand trembling slightly. What he saw made his vision go dark for a moment. Premium Wagyu, Kobe beef, exotic fruits I never bought. The bag of Itachi does have seasoning and oil, but that brand is not cheap. There was quite a lot of each type of meat. Qing roughly calculated the price and took a deep breath. He turned around, looked at the two people with the eyes of a loser, and took out his wallet with a painful look. "It may not be enough to pay you back. I will pay you the rest next time." It was Carolus was bleeding. "No need, Qing. I brought this from home." After admiring Qing's rich expression, Shisui held his hand. Itachi also continued, "When I went to pick up Sasuke, my mother just came back. She asked me to bring it with me, and also asked me to say hello to you on her behalf." Chapter 105. Qing was silent for a long time and then sighed. Somewhat helplessly, "I appreciate your kindness, but you have helped me so much during this period, so let me be the host today." He walked forward and hooked his hands around their shoulders. "Be obedient." Shisui and Itachi felt as if all their strength was drained away by Qing's closeness, and their pupils contracted. Realized what was happening. The money Qing had given them was already in their hands. Qing also took out the things in the bag and kept muttering how to make this and that delicious. There are both vegetables and meat, and even different kinds. Qing stared at the ingredients for a long time, then looked up and asked, "How about sukiyaki?" The two little ones in the living room. However, before eating, Qing cut the tomatoes into small pieces, sprinkled some white sugar on them and took them out. Naruto and Sasuke were sitting together and whispering to each other. Ahem. Qing, who was standing at the door, was the first to remind them before walking in and putting the cut tomatoes on the table. "Shall we have sukiyaki tonight?" "Uncle, what is sukiyaki?" Naruto had never eaten it before. "You're so stupid." Sasuke, who had eaten it, raised his chin and seriously explained to Naruto what sukiyaki is. Naruto's eyes lit up as he listened, and he sipped. "Yes. Let's eat the sushi pot." "Stupid Naruto, it's sukiyaki," Sasuke corrected, his eyes falling on the plate of tomatoes. "Yes, sukiyaki." "Okay, then it's decided. Let's eat some tomatoes before let's eat dinner." Qing poked a small toothpick on it, pushed it in front of the two children, and went back to the kitchen. The two were still standing in the kitchen. "I've asked them, and we're going to have sukiyaki hot pot tonight." Qing rolled up his sleeves on his arms. "All the ingredients that will be used tonight were picked out. Wow, I thought there would be no seasoning tonight." The onions, ginger, garlic and other ingredients were surprisingly complete. Let me help you. Shisui looked at the potatoes and radishes. Do I need to peel these? Yes, peel and slice them. Don't cut them too thick. Thinner slices make them easier to cook. Qing put the vegetables to be washed into the sink demonstrated. He handed the matter over to Uchiha. He went to prepare the soup base. The essence of the sukiyaki pot lies in this soup base. He had even learned the secret recipe from the owner of a sukiyaki restaurant. The homemade version may be missing a few ingredients, but it will still be absolutely delicious. After closing the lid, Qing went to see their progress. He found that the weasel had picked out the cabbage, but it was washing it carefully, leaf by leaf. Qing's eyes twitched, and he found that the cabbage had shed its skin. As for Shisui, there was still a lot of potato left in the potato skins. The peeled potatoes were bumpy and still had some skin on. Qing, these poor vegetables must be saved. Itachi and Shisui's hands were dripping with water, and they were pushed out of the kitchen in the blink of an eye. Okay, thank you for your hard work. I can do the rest by myself. Chapter 106. The two people who were kicked out of the kitchen did not leave, but just watched at the door. Watching Qing peeling and cutting vegetables skillfully, I reflected deeply on myself, so full that they sat down to rest for a while, and then the two little ones helped to clean up the dishes after the meal. Finally, Shisui and Itachi were kicked out of the kitchen after they broke two bowls once again. Qing cleaned up the final mess and came out to see Sasuke and Naruto sitting obediently in front of Shisui. Shisui was telling them about his school days, but he also pricked up his ears and listened. But I just started talking about the time when we first entered school and formed a team. With so many people wanting to form a team with Brother Shisui, why did Brother Shisui choose Naruto's uncle? Sasuke raised his hand and asked. That's a good question. I'm curious too. Qing smiled and walked over to join them. Shisui raised the corners of his mouth, with a smile in his eyes. Because he was alone, I couldn't bear to see it, so I sent him an invitation. Wow. Naruto's favor towards Shisui increased a little bit. Then, you're a very nice person. Qing rolled his eyes and said to Sasuke with a smile, Little Sasuke, you can just call me Brother Qing. Sasuke awkwardly, but why doesn't anyone team up with his uncle? His uncle is so nice. Naruto stared at Qing with his big eyes full of confusion. Qing's eyes twitched and he answered somewhat disappointedly, because I was excluded. Why? This time it was Itachi who asked. I also want to know why. Qing felt depressed when talking about this. He was only in a daze for a short while, and when he came to his senses, he had already been excluded by the other kids. Everyone's eyes once again fell on Shisui, who seemed to be smiling. You really didn't care what those people thought. Shisui's expression was somewhat helpless. For boys, it's because of jealousy, and for girls, it's also simply jealousy. Qing narrowed his eyes. Do you want to listen to what you are saying? Shisui, actually speaking, part of the reason is because of me. When you were staring at me, I turned to look at you. So, be children of some small families in Konoha, and everyone knew each other to some extent. You were the only one who was unfamiliar. The most important thing was, they thought you knew me very well. Qing had several big question marks on his head. Just because of this? I looked at you one more time in the vast crowd? So you rejected me. Well, the children from their aristocratic families are more or less xenophobic. Me, Shisui, stared at Qing's face for more than 10 seconds before speaking. I'm jealous of your beauty, Qing. Qing. You're crazy. I've never been so speechless in my life. Chapter 107. Qing had a look on his face that said, what nonsense is this person talking about? But after a few seconds, he put away his expression and looked at Shisui in shock. Really? Shisui nodded, very sure, it's true, the girls said it themselves back then. Qing's pupils trembled. I didn't expect you to be such a gossipy Uchiha, Shisui. Shisui reached out and poked his face. My best friend was excluded for no reason. I have to understand the reason, right? Everyone's attitude towards Qing was too obvious back then. Even after forming a team with him, no one was willing to get close to Qing. At first Shisui could feel that Qing really didn't care, but he knew Qing's excellence. As Qing's best friend, Shisui wants to clarify something for him, but before that he has to understand the reason. He could more or less guess the boy's side, but the girl's side, he himself was surprised at how he said this back then. Qing. He is so handsome. When standing next to him, I am completely outshined. There is no boy who is so handsome, which is very discouraging. You know, Uchiha can be considered a little beauty. Qing was really speechless, but fortunately he was not a real child. Otherwise, if he was ostracized for this reason, an ordinary child would feel self-loathing towards this face. Then thank you, you're welcome. It's my pleasure. Qing. What happens next is how Qing shines in his grade, and even in the entire school most ninjas admire the strong, and when Qing displayed strength that matched the resources he possessed, then it changes from being excluded to being out of reach. By the time the kids in that class came to their senses, Qing and Shisui had already graduated early. If we want to have any contact with them again, the only way is to catch up with them. When the time is almost up, the three members of the Uchiha family should go home. Sasuke, who unexpectedly got along well with Naruto, was reluctant to leave. It was because Qing said that she could come and play with Naruto anytime that Itachi carried her back. On the way back, the sleepy Sasuke confirmed with Itachi again, "Brother, can I really come again?" Itachi answered him confidently, "Well, I will bring you to play with Naruto whenever I am free." After getting the answer, Sasuke closed his eyes and fell asleep peacefully. Shisui, who was walking beside him, glanced at him and said, "Oh, I can come to see Aking anytime I want. I don't need a reason to come. We are close friends after all." Itachi was implied. He glanced at Shisui and pursed his lips. "I can do it too. Qing won't chase me away." "Oh, really?" Shisui replied differently, "I have something else to do later, so I'll be leaving first. Be careful on your way back." When Itachi was still as young as Sasuke, Shisui knew the unconscious love that Qing exuded for Itachi. It was indeed unconscious. At that time Shisui simply thought that Qing liked children. Shisui found out that Qing was targeting Itachi alone. He did not expose the truth and did not want to remind Qing. This kid Itachi must have discovered it. Chapter 108. While Naruto was taking a shower, Qing had already sorted out all the clothes and put them in the closet. Looking at this brand new wardrobe, Qing once again sighed that he had really gotten a great bargain. "Uncle, I'm fine." The bathroom was on the first floor, and Naruto felt even more sleepy after taking a bath. A dry towel to wrap Naruto's wet head. "Did you forget to dry your hair before going out again? You'll catch a cold easily this way." I'll definitely remember this next time." Even though he was taught a lesson, Naruto was still very happy. "You said the same thing yesterday." Even if they moved to a bigger house, it was natural for Naruto to sleep in the same room with Qing. Qing didn't think there was anything wrong with it. Naruto fell asleep immediately after his hair was blown dry before he was allowed to lie down. Qing smiled and covered him with a quilt. It was already late at night when Qing finished everything. He set up a barrier around the house. He had a feeling that the vacation given to him by the third Hokage was about to end. Although he knew that the third Hokage could protect Naruto, he couldn't feel at ease leaving Naruto alone if he didn't do something. If he sensed something and buried himself in Qing's arms. After finding a comfortable position, I fell into deep sleep. The next morning, Qing got up very quietly. After washing, he changed into convenient clothes and ran into the mountains. He has not yet explored this area of the mountain thoroughly. There was actually a training ground in an inconspicuous place halfway up the mountain, with targets for practicing ninja tools and wooden stakes for physical training. Qing noticed him. He jumped up and held him in his arms. The crow hadn't even had time to react when it saw that beautiful face. "Oh, it's really a weasel." Qing grabbed it with one hand and bent his fingers with the other hand to scratch the hair on the little crow's head. The little crow was a little angry when its name was called, and it flapped its wings and pretended to be an ordinary crow. But those scarlet eyes were enough to prove his identity in the morning. "Have you eaten? Do you want to have breakfast together?" Qing had no intention of letting go. Itachi found that the opponent's strength was just right, unable to break free but also not hurting himself. Qing raised his lips as if he had thought of something. "Little weasel, how about I ask you for a favor?" "Time?" Crow Weasel, who was completely unable to hold the vest, said, "Okay, you." "Agreed so soon? You didn't even ask me what it was." Itachi then spoke again. "What favor? Ha ha ha, it feels so strange to hear your voice coming from a crow's mouth." Qing let go of Itachi, put him on his head and walked back. "It's actually a very simple thing. Just stay the way you are now and cooperate with me, okay?" Itachi without any hesitation, squatting on Chi responded Qing's head like an ordinary bird. In fact, this shape is very unique now, but no one around sees it. Naruto was already awake when Qing returned home. He went downstairs with half-closed eyes, and suddenly woke up when he saw the little crow on Qing's head. It's a little crow. Uncle, where did you find it? The itachi on the head froze. If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelists. There you'll find the original version of this story, and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We're waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 109. Itachi froze at Naruto's happy words. His brain was working rapidly at this moment. Did Qing know something? Why did he bring back Crow's self? Does it have anything to do with what Naruto said? Is it a coincidence? I saw it in the back mountain. Qing squatted in front of Naruto and took off the itachi on his head. I just happened to see a very cute little crow, and wanted to try my luck to see if it was the one you knew. Naruto had an expression of I see. He squinted his eyes and stared at the little crow seriously, then he took it in his arms and laughed. It's the little crow. It's really him. Little uncle. He happily turned around a few times. You really found the little crow's uncle. It seems that I am very lucky. Let's say goodbye today. Him fly away. The little crow will go home by himself. Yes. Uncle is the best. Qing gave Itachi a please look and went to the kitchen in a good mood. Little crow, I thought I would never see you again. Naruto stared at the little crow in his hands with tears in his eyes. The little crow was still immersed in the mood of social death and was at the mercy of others for a while. Perhaps the environment made him relax his vigilance, and when he came to his senses, Naruto was hugging him and rubbing his face. Naruto's reluctant voice came to his ears. Our home will be here from now on. I will miss you, little crow. Remember to come and play with me. Then he threw him into the sky. Itachi flapped his wings and flew to the end of Naruto's sight, then turned around and stood at the kitchen window. Qing's eyes fell on him before he landed little crow's beak. Thank you, you've worked hard, little weasel. Itachi subconsciously opened his and accepted the feeding. Qing seemed to enjoy this interaction and tore off another piece and fed it to the little crow weasel him. Then with a bang, the transformation spell was cancelled. He sat on the windowsill and looked into Qing's eyes. Qing looked at his red ears and raised the corners of his mouth, and handed the milk to him again. I thought you would like this taste. Simple breakfast. Itachi showed no intention of coming down from the window after staring at Qing for a long time. He said, did you know this a long time ago? Know what? Qing, who was frying eggs, raised his head. Just that thing. Itachi couldn't say anything more straightforward. Although it was cute, Qing stopped teasing him and said bluntly, I just fell asleep, not dead. In other words, we can perceive what is happening around us to a greater or lesser extent. It's only because I'm in a safe place that I can't wake up until my spirit is repaired. Especially, Qing knew that someone other than Naruto approached him or even pecked his face with that little pointed beak. He looked at Uchiha Itachi, whose redness spread from the tips of his ears to his neck. Out of pity, I told a white lie. I just sensed someone was around, but I don't know what they were doing. Chapter 110. Just a rough sense of the surrounding situation? Does Itachi believe it? Itachi didn't believe it. Uncle, who are you talking to? Naruto had just washed his face and poked his head in. The man in the window was gone. Qing smiled and put the fallen black feather into his pocket, then turned around and said to Naruto, I was just asking you if you brushed your teeth seriously. Yes. Naruto ran over and said, Uncle, look, he opened his mouth wide for Qing to check. Qing squatted down and looked at it carefully, then praised, it's sparkling, really great. Naruto was in a good mood after receiving the praise early in the morning and even drank half a cup of milk more. It was still early after breakfast, so Qing coaxed Naruto into taking a nap. Suddenly sensing the presence of another person, he was stunned for a moment, and in the blink of an eye he was already standing in the living room downstairs. Grandpa Sarutobi, why are you here? It was the third Hokage Sarutobi Hirozen. He stood in the yard of Qing's house with his hands behind his back, looking around. After hearing the voice, he turned around and said with a smile, are you not welcome to my old man? How could that be? I'm just a little surprised. Qing quickened his pace and walked over to invite him to sit in the house. Have you had breakfast, Sarutobi? Nodded, just make me a cup of tea, okay, please sit for a while. Qing went back to the kitchen to make tea. The hot water was just boiling, and Qing quickly brought out the teapot and made some tea. You didn't come here in person to tell me that my vacation is over, did you? You live is like. Qing sighed. Thank you for making a special trip. I probably had a hunch, but I didn't expect it to happen so soon. He thought he still had at least a few days of vacation. He puffed up his face and looked depressed. Sarutobi looked at the somewhat childish Qing with a smile in his eyes. I picked out a few for you that you will like first. I will have someone take care of Naruto, you can rest assured. Now, Qing has taken Naruto out of the orphanage openly, and the place where they live now is indeed not too conspicuous. He noticed the illusion trap set by Qing around him. People who were not strong enough could not enter here without permission, and would only get lost in the mountains. So it would be much more convenient for him to do something for Naruto. Over the years, Sarutobi has always felt guilty towards Minato and Kushina because of Naruto's affairs. No, Naruto, just keep doing what you did before. I understand your situation. Qing didn't want to embarrass the third generation. I will take care of the other things before me leave. 3 years, Grandpa Sarutobi, I will retire in 3 years. Qing looked straight into Sarutobi's eyes with a serious face. Sarutobi's eyes twitched, and the veins on his head popped out. You kid said you want to retire in front of the old man. Now, it is time for him to retire, but he has to return to his post because his successor suddenly passed away as a result. The young generation said they wanted to retire in front of him? Ahem. Qing also felt that this was a bit inappropriate, but Naruto would go to ninja school in 3 years. I have worked like a cow and a horse for you all these years and accumulated a lot of tasks. Will you accept this level of things next time? Sarutobi raised his eyebrows. At least let me have time to come back and see Naruto. Seeing that Grandpa Sarutobi was unmoved, Qing continued to negotiate. At least let me come back 4 times a month. Okay. Sarutobi agreed decisively. Qing agreed too readily, and only then did he realize that he had been trapped. Qing had a premonition that he might be exhausted to death next. Chapter 111. The outcome was already decided, and Qing felt that it was too late when he was fooled. After the 3 generations finished their cup of tea, they didn't stay any longer. The tasks and information are all here, so you don't have to make another trip. You can arrange the time of the task yourself. Prepare today and set off tomorrow morning. The 3rd generation put down a pile of scrolls and left tomorrow morning. There is still 1 day left. The tasks in front of Qing were piled up like a mountain, and he just wanted to burn them all with a single fire escape. Oh my, it seems the 3rd generation master has been here. Another one who didn't come in through the main entrance. The white-haired Jonin who came in from the courtyard without permission looked at the pile of scrolls with a bit of sympathy. It seems that the vacation is over. He had to lean slightly to the side to see Kakashi. Are you a little brat? You're taking your anger out on me. Kakashi looked around the room and felt strangely familiar with it. It wasn't me who assigned you the task. He shrugged. Qing put away the scroll with a sad face, and the table was soon empty. You came to my place for a stroll so early in the morning. You're the 3rd visitor today. The boy put his head sideways on the table, exuding a lazy aura. Although he seemed lazy, Kakashi actually didn't find any flaws in him. You are still so popular. No way, it should be Brother Kakashi. Even though only one eye of his face was exposed, the female ninjas all admired this young genius Kakashi. Qing rested his chin on his hand and looked at Kakashi with a teasing look in his eyes. Would you like some tea, brother? No, I'm just passing by. I have other things to do next. Kakashi leaned forward and patted Qing's head with his palm. Stay alive, boy. Only a few people know the content of Qing's mission. Kakashi was one of those few. After saying this, Kakashi teleported away. Kakashi's body just now. Qing also realized that he had just returned from a mission. He even brought me some local specialties. Senior brother is a very nice person. Qing's depressed mood was swept away, and he put the things in a cabinet where Naruto could reach them. We have to leave tomorrow. How should we tell little Naruto? I'm here to deliver the refrigerator. Qing heard the sound and went to open the door. Several people outside the door were pulling a cart, on which lay a refrigerator that was probably more than 2 meters high. Hello, this is the refrigerator that Mr. Uchiha Shisui bought. The address is written here. This is Mr. Qing, right? Yes, thank you for your hard work. Please come in. I'll show you the way. Qing pushed the door open to allow the cart to come in. Delivery person provided great service, and after everything was put away, He even brought his own tools to clean the refrigerator inside and out and connected it to the power supply before leaving. Qing looked at the double-door refrigerator in front of him and had already figured out how to fill it. Chapter 112. Konoha Street. Qing took Naruto by the hand and officially appeared in front of everyone. The villagers who were once familiar with Qing were hesitant to speak, with complicated expressions in their eyes. An auntie walked up to him worriedly and asked him in front of Qing, "Why are you bringing him with you? Don't you know he is the incarnation of the nine-tailed fox? Kyuubi, the fox demon that killed 4 generations of couples and destroyed too many people's homes." Perhaps it was because the days with his uncle were too happy, and Naruto felt a little aggrieved when he suddenly suffered such a gaze again. "I like Xiaomingren, so I take him with me." Qing's smile did not reach his eyes, and he had no intention of staying any longer. The aunt was embarrassed by his attitude. "You have been away for so long, I am just worried that you have been cheated." Qing knew that she was kind to him and had no ill intentions in nature. "Thank you, but Naruto is a good boy. We have something else to do, so we'll leave first." This time, Qing directly held Naruto in his arms. His attitude of protecting Naruto was seen by others. Everyone knows what kind of person Qing is. Although we haven't been together for a long time, he is a very kind child. Although he was young, he helped everyone a lot. That year, the young people in the Sato family went out, leaving only the old man with limited mobility at home. It was because Qing would visit him whenever he was free that he discovered that the old man had fallen to the ground alone. It was thanks to him that he was rescued. He also found the lost granddaughter of Grandma Huadeo. Most of the elderly people in the village have been taken care of by Qing walk, and everyone's hostility subsided a little. Although it wasn't much, Qing was already very satisfied with this change. Naruto also felt the personal charm of his uncle. "Uncle, why did you buy so many things today?" "We had lunch at a ramen restaurant." It was already past 3 in the afternoon when Qing bought everything he needed. Shikamaru. Naruto always felt that he missed them since he hadn't seen them for a long time. Prodigy asked him, "Where have you been lately, Naruto?" At him expectantly. "Of course, you can always invite your friends to your house to play." Qing gently stroked Naruto's head. "Great. Let's go, Shikamaru." "Prodigy, I have something to tell you." Qing walked behind the 3 children and watched them play. The corners of his mouth couldn't help but rise. "It's so nice to have such a leisurely life. I couldn't help but think that it would be nice if it could always be like this. Konoha. If you are too busy, hire a few people." Naruto came back from school and sat at the counter to help watch over him. Or walk his dog. "Just thinking about it makes me look forward to tonight, Naruto." Qing sat on the bed and waved at Naruto, who was reading a book. "What's the matter, uncle?" Naruto threw himself into his uncle's arms. "He discovered this himself, and my uncle likes it very much starting tomorrow. Are you afraid of being alone at home?" Chapter 113. On a mission. Hearing this word, Naruto's little head went blank for a moment. He remembered his uncle saying that it was because of the mission that he was left alone in the orphanage for so long. When Naruto thought about becoming a human again, his lips curled up and tears fell. She didn't cry or to make a fuss, but just shed tears silently, sobbed softly, and then wiped her tears roughly with the back of her hand. "Uncle can't bear to leave you either." Qing's heart ached as if it was being strangled, "But I promise you, I won't be away for too long this time. Grandpa Saratobi promised me that he would let me come back often." "Really? Can you really come back to see me often?" Really? When has your uncle ever lied to you?" After getting the guarantee, the pent-up grievances instantly came out. Qing suddenly remembered the nursery rhyme that remained in her memory and hummed it softly. She didn't stop until Naruto fell asleep. "Good night, baby." The next morning, when the sky was just turning pale, Qing felt the little fellow beside him carefully withdraw from his arms. Feeling the soft touch on his cheek, Qing almost couldn't help but open his eyes. After the door was closed, he hugged the quilt and rolled around on the bed in an unadult-like manner. "Oh, little Naruto is so cute." Being kissed on the cheek or something like that directly touched Qing's heart. He walked lightly, wanting to see what Naruto wanted to do so early in the morning. Then I found him in the kitchen. There was a bowl of water, a dish of salt and seaweed on the table. There is also the rice that was cooked last night and kept warm. Naruto scooped a little and put it in the palm of his hand. "It's so hot." But he dodged it because it was too hot and it fell to the ground. "Well, don't waste food." Naruto picked up the food on the ground and stuffed it into his mouth. With the experience of the first time, he knew to blow it first and then let go after the second time. After clumsily shaping it, a slightly rounded triangular rice ball was completed. Put some more seaweed for the uncle. It's so tiring to do the mission. Only when the uncle is well fed can he be more energetic. Squatting on the ground with her hands covering her mouth, Qing was so moved that she almost cried. Whose 3-year-old baby is so caring? It turns out it's mine. It's worth loving him. Qing let go of the footsteps after he reached the end of the corridor. Little Naruto. Hearing the voice, Naruto responded and stopped what he was doing. Uncle, I'm here. Wow, are you making breakfast? Qing pretended to be surprised. Another one for uncle to eat on the way. When he's hungry, Naruto grinned and looked like he was asking for praise. I can already cook for myself, uncle. It's okay for me to look after the house alone. Naruto is a man. Yes, Naruto is a little man now. I feel so safe. Qing took the rice stuck on his face and said, shall we do it together? Good. In fact, how could Qing feel at ease letting Naruto come alone to cook? He had already prepared meals for the next 5 days last night. They were all semi-finished products that could be heated directly in the microwave. If you finish eating and your uncle hasn't come back yet, go eat your favorite ramen. Your uncle has already told Uncle Ichiraku. He taught Naruto how to use the microwave and told him to use the baking gloves or towels placed next to him when taking out the heated food, otherwise he would get burned. Uncle will leave soon. You have to wait for me to come back. Qing was a little. Naruto shook Qing's arm and reluctantly looked at him pitifully. Can I take you to the gate? I couldn't refuse, so I could only nod in agreement. Chapter 114. It was still early and there were only a few people scattered on the road. When they were near the main gate of Konoha, Qing put Naruto down and said, I'll take you here. Do you remember the way back? Naruto nodded heavily. Yes, I remember. Little Naruto, you're awesome. Your uncle is leaving. Be careful on your way back. If you don't know the way, just find Uncle Ichiraku's shop and you will be home if you go straight from there. Qing rubbed Naruto's head reluctantly, and after giving him repeated instructions, he went to the registration office. Leaving again so soon? The ninja on duty was the senior whom I met when I came back last time. Qing responded, yes, the vacation is over. Before leaving, he turned back quietly and saw that Naruto had not left yet, and was staring at him by grabbing his clothes. Qing thought, maybe he shouldn't let Naruto send her off next time. Every separation always makes people feel sad. After leaving the village, he ran as fast as he could to get rid of the ninja following him and headed straight for the first mission destination. It was a small village in the land of water where it snowed all year round. According to information, the target of this mission is hiding here. When they reached the border of the village, they began to feel the cold, so Qing took out a cloak from his luggage and put it on bloodline limits. These 3 key points alone reminded Qing of the young man named Bai. But he didn't know whether Bai had been picked up by Zabuza in Momochi. If he had enough time, maybe he could try his luck. In fact, Qing always felt that he was quite lucky. Just now, I found a hotel to stay in, but before I even went in, I saw the little beggar who was almost buried in the snow. He was so hungry that he looked unrecognizable. He was wearing thin clothes and was covered in dirt. There was only numbness in his eyes. Qing took off his cloak and wrapped it around his entire body. Perhaps because of the rise in body temperature, he shivered and then gradually came back to consciousness. There was fear, confusion and desire in Qing's eyes. Qing asked him, I may not be able to take you with me forever, but are you willing to go with me even if this is the case? Again, the thin child seemed to have grabbed a life-saving straw. He opened and closed his mouth but no sound came out. He stared with his eyes wide open and used his last bit of strength to grasp tightly Qing's clothes. Qing raised the corner of his mouth. My name is Qing. Zai? He responded with effort. Maybe it was because he hadn't spoken for too long, and his throat was frozen from eating snow. It's okay, tell me your name when you get better. Qing picked him up and walked towards the hotel. Asked the hotel to prepare warm food and send it up. Before that, Qing gave Bai a shower in the bathroom. I don't know how long he had been wandering outside alone. His hands and feet, which should have been delicate, were all covered with frostbite. My hair was in a tangle and I couldn't get it untangled without clothes on. His body was skin and bones, with the only flesh on his buttocks. After wiping it clean, her face was as white as a rabbit in the snow. His eyes were fixed on Qing, as if he was afraid that everything now was just a dream. If he shifted his gaze, it would be like waking up from a dream. Even when Qing poured water on his head and the water got into his eyes, he didn't even blink. I can't untie this hair. Now there are limited things in hand. The mud on the child's body has been rubbed clean. Qing is only worried about the tangled hair. Chapter 115. Hearing Qing's voice, it seemed that he understood his confusion. Ice blades appeared in the child's palms, and he grabbed one and cut it off. When Qing came back to his senses, there was already a bald spot on the back of his head. Qing grabbed the hand that was almost skin and bones. He looked at the bald spot and frowned. But this expression completely misinterpreted his meaning in the eyes of the child. After all, it was this that brought him death. The ice blade in the palm of his hand turned into steam and evaporated. His hands trembled and he grabbed Qing's palm with horror. I can. A tool, don't. I can kill people and can be your tool. Don't abandon me. This was the first person he met who gave him warmth after he ran away from home. Just a few words and a look pulled him out of the abyss. Qing unexpectedly understood the ability intermittent words. I'm sorry for making you misunderstand. Qing held his hand in return. I just shaved my hair too close to the roots because of my suffering. I guess I need to cut it all off and let it grow again to look good. Qing remembered that Bai had beautiful black hair. You don't have to kill anyone, and you don't have to be my tool. Just be yourself. Even if you follow me, you are still free. The last person who was so insecure and tried hard to prove himself to him was Naruto. The two children's eyes overlapped, and Qing's eyes became more gentle. With Bai's consent, Qing cut his hair short. She has a pretty face and is very cute. Even with a buzz cut, she looks really good. Qing, who is obsessed with looks, couldn't help but caress that little face. The hotel's meals have been delivered. Please tell me what you don't like and what you particularly like. Food. Being able to sit down and eat is already the best etiquette. Qing suddenly resonated with a joy that Orochimaru experienced in picking up children and raising them. Thinking of another impressive child who possessed a bloodline limit and was also near the mission, Qing became a little eager to try. The well-fed child felt warm all over, and he cuddled sleepily beside Qing. Go to sleep first if you're tired. I'll be out for a while. Qing patted his head and said, don't worry, go to sleep. I'll be back, perhaps. Qing's words worked. The child who was struggling to get up closed his eyes and fell asleep. Qing took a quilt, covered him with it and went out. The mission this time to the Water Kingdom is to eliminate the rebels of a certain country. According to the latest news, he will stay in this village today. Around the sky is gray even when there is no snow. Qing stood on the roof of the hotel, shook off the snow on his cloak, put it into the scroll, and then jumped in through the window. The window suddenly opened and the child sleeping in the inner room was instantly woken up. Being sensitive to the smell of blood, he subconsciously crawled under the bed. Qing changed into clean clothes and then gently opened the door to look for him. He spoke first, don't be afraid, there's no one else. When the child heard Qing's voice, he crawled out from under the bed. He ran to Qing, sniffed left and right, and finally his eyes stopped on his arm longer. Bai shook his head, then, I need to sleep for a while. Can you wake me up if anyone comes? After fighting all night, Qing needed to rest. Yes. He nodded vigorously. Then please. If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelis. There you'll find the original version of this story and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We're waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 116. Qing didn't sleep for too long. He woke up when it was completely light. When he opened his eyes, he found Bai Zhang squatting in the corner of the room, staring at him really serious about protecting him. Qing smiled and thanked him. The hotel delivered breakfast, and after sharing it with Bai, it was time to leave. Sir, Bai, my name is Bai. A complete sentence. Please tell me your name. Bai raised his head and looked at Qing expectantly. Qing. Qing patted Bai's head and said, please give me more advice in the future. Xiao Bei, you can call me brother. Bai shook his head and called out firmly, Mr. Qi. No choice at the moment, so I can only make do with them for now. He put on as Qing passed by a tall and strong man, his eyes slid over him. The man noticed the gaze and turned back, only to see two little kids walking together in front and behind, and didn't pay much attention to them. They came to the most prosperous town in the Water Kingdom and bought a few sets of clothes suitable for the white clothes they wore now. I replenished some dry food and didn't stay for long. Bai tried hard to follow, and he didn't complain of being tired even though his legs were numb. Only after reaching a safe area did Qing slow down his pace and make a fire in the forest to rest. Bai took advantage of this time to recover his strength and rubbed his calves secretly. Xiao Bei. Qing skewered the wild rabbit he had just caught and roasted it over the fire. Hearing the call, Bai stood up and immediately trotted to Qing. Him? He nodded and changed into the suit, and the one he was wearing. Mr. Qi, can you give me this set? Bai held the clothes he had taken off in his arms. He was a little nervous. Mr. Qi was kind enough to take him in, but he even asked him for something. Although she didn't know what he wanted her clothes for, she didn't refuse. Sure, do you want me to keep them for you first? I can protect it myself. He could protect the clothes by himself. It has the flavor of Mr. Qi on it and is very warm. Qing gave him a large silk scarf so he could wrap his clothes in it and carry him on his back. Bai was very happy to receive another gift from Mr. Qi. The rabbit was still divided equally between each person. Bai watched carefully as Qing dug a hole and buried the bones and sawdust after eating, and took note of it. Silently become a useful tool. A man was studying hard. Qing observed where Bai's limit was. When it was almost reached, he slowed down and waited for Bai to rest before continuing on his journey. They were not idle during the break. Qing and Bai explained the knowledge about ninjas. In order to gain trust, Bai fully revealed his special abilities to Qing. Sharp icicles emerge from the palms of your hands, or beautiful snowflakes fall on your palms. Until they reached another prosperous town, Qing left Bai alone in the hotel and asked him to wait for her to pick him up, and this wait lasted for 2 days. Chapter 117. Qing was gone for 2 days. Bai alone in the hotel room. Just when Bai thought he was abandoned, there was a knock on the window of his room on the originally third night. The sound of one heavy knock and 2 shallow knocks instantly perked up Bai. That was the secret signal that Qing had agreed upon with him. Mr. Qi. Bai opened the window and saw Qing's exquisite and perfect face. There was a scratch on the smooth cheek. Are you hurt? Choked by the bloody smell on Qing's body, Bai's originally pale face almost became transparent. Where are you hurt? I'll apply medicine for you. I'm back, Bai. It's okay. It has been bandaged. It's not serious. Qing jumped into the room through the window. Only then did Bai notice that there was another person following him. He is our new partner, Kaguya Kimimaro. I found him in the hidden mist village in the land of water. Qing patted Kimimaro on the back and pushed him in front of Bai. Come, let's get to know each other. Bai's heart was shocked and he felt a little sad. Only after spending so many years together did I realize clearly that Mr. Kai's gentleness really does not belong to him alone. I tried to smile and greeted him. Hello, my name is Bai. Kimimaro's expression was indifferent and distant. He stood straight, his eyes stayed on Bai for a short while, then he looked away and returned to Qing. Shiro observed Kimimaro. He looked so dangerous. Qing stood in front of the 2 children, and gently pressed his palms on their heads. I have to go back. You two should get along well before I come back. Bai raised his head. Are you leaving today? Don't you want to rest for a while? Qing could feel Bai's attachment to him, and said apologetically, I have to leave now, I will be back soon. Paid for the hotel. 3 meals a day will be provided. If you want to change the taste, you can eat on the street. Qing put the purse in Bai's hand. Then he told Kimimaro, Xiao Bei doesn't know how to fight. If there's any danger, take Xiao Bei and run away first. Kimimaro nodded. I understand, brother. Qing smiled with relief. Then I'll leave. Bai, who was dazed by Kimimaro's address, quickly came back to his senses and said goodbye. Mr. Qi, be careful on your way. Remember, everything should be based on your own safety. Wait for me to come back. Qing left through the window and disappeared into the night. Bai put away his smile, frowned and looked at Kimimaro with dissatisfaction. Why do you call Mr. Qi brother? It's so disrespectful. Kimimaro looked at the guy with 2 faces, found a place to sit cross-legged on the ground, closed his eyes and ignored him. Bai pursed her lips when she was ignored and decided to ignore him. Disgusting guy. On the other hand, Orochimaru, who was very interested in the bloodline limit of the Kaguya clan, tracked down the relevant information. I heard that only one member of the Hyuga clan survived this battle. But when he came back, the child had already been taken away. You're trying to steal someone from me, Orochimaru. Interesting. Orochimaru laughed like a snake's tongue. Whoever it is, he will find it. Then, his body twisted in a strange shape, transformed into a snake and left. Qing quickened his pace and rushed back to Konoha. In the early morning, the Chunin on duty squinted his eyes and yawned. As soon as I opened my eyes, I saw someone running towards me at an extremely fast speed. Just as he was on guard, the other party had already rushed in front of him everywhere. Dust flew, and all the Chunins on duty went out to surround the suspicious people. He struck a pose and prepared himself for a tough fight. The opponent's strength is unknown, but he should not be underestimated as he has such speed. The wind blew, and Qing looked at his colleagues around him. Is this a new way of welcoming people? Chunin. Chapter 118. A cool breeze blew by, and the atmosphere became even more silent. Next, 7 or 8 Jonin appeared and pushed the embarrassment to another level. Where are the enemies? Familiar with Qing gritted his teeth and slapped Qing on the head. What do you want to do when you rush over here aggressively, idiot? I could feel the pressure of chakra from a distance, and it was so fast that only an afterimage could be seen. Qing knew that he was in the wrong and caused such a misunderstanding, so he apologized to everyone one by one. However, both the Jonin and the Chunins had a very good attitude. After all, a misunderstanding is better than a real enemy attack. It was this time that they became curious about how strong Qing was. Qing could still wait if it was only 5 minutes. The Ironstone Chunin offered him a chair. Qing was indeed a little tired. After sitting down, he took a long breath and said, the air in Konoha is indeed the best. Haha, that's for sure. Tishi Chunin agreed with Qing. Look over there. Qing looked over and his heart skipped a beat when he saw the child. Senior, does he come here every day? Yes, ever since you left, you have been there at this time every day, and you go back after dark. Sometimes you are taken away by the Uchiha boys. Like the other ninja villagers, Tishi Chunin holds malicious prejudices against Uzumaki Naruto, who possesses the incarnation of the Nine Tails. But since he saw Qing taking him with him and waiting for Qing to come back there every day, his attitude gradually changed. I sit under that tree and wait. I just hope to see Qing come back as soon as possible. Thank you, senior. Qing thanked him and ran towards Naruto. He was carrying the school bag and water bottle that I bought for him. After sitting down, he took out the lunchbox from his school bag and placed it beside him. His eyes were fixed on the gate of Konoha. Naruto waits for his uncle to return. Everyday reunion. From the first day, Naruto felt lonely because of the huge gap, so he came here to wait every day. It's like a psychological comfort. Little Naruto. Qing held Naruto in his arms and whispered, I'm back. On the other hand, the 2 children who were placed in the hotel did not get along well. Neither of them was talkative, and the silence in the room made every sound seem to be magnified several times. But this was Bai's first time to come into contact with a child of the same age, and Qing brought him back, so he was a little curious about Kimimaro. Well, let's just get along well. Bai spoke first. Kimimaro raised his eyes and said indifferently, whatever, then. Can you teach me to become stronger? Although Bai was unhappy with his attitude, he wanted to become stronger, even if he had to ask this annoying guy for advice. I want to be useful to Mr. Chi. Chapter 119. Kimimaro raised his head and began to look directly at the child in front of him. He is about the same age as me, but looks so fragile that he would break if touched. His name is Bai, and his brother said he would protect him. Kimimaro was part of a warlike tribe, and every member of the tribe died in battle. I have this kind of blood flowing in my veins as well. The tribesmen were afraid of his power and kept him locked up in a dark dungeon. It was not until the war against Kurigakure was about to break out that he was released to be used as a human shield and weapon, and they kept fighting and fighting. But now that he is the only one left in the Hyuga clan, Kimimaro is confused. Suddenly I couldn't stop and didn't know what to do next. Who should we fight for next? I have no father, no mother, no one to rely on, and all the people I knew in this world are gone. He was overwhelmed by loneliness and felt that life had no meaning. Just at this time Qing, his appearance was silent. Yeah, I found you. That expression bloomed because of finding oneself. A smile as warm as the sunshine. Why? Are you looking for me? Do you want me to be your weapon too? To come with me? Maybe one day you will find the meaning of life. The 3 words follow me created ripples in his heart that took a long time to calm down. Okay. I had already agreed when I came to my senses. Qing smiled and said, my name is Qing. I'm a ninja from Konoha. You can call me brother, Kaguya. Kimimaro. Kimimaro said his name. Why do you want to become stronger? I can protect you. Kimimaro wondered, my bones are very hard, I can be used as a shield to block you. Bai's eyes widened. He suddenly understood why he subconsciously felt repulsed when he first saw Kimimaro. Kimimaro looks exactly like himself when Mr. Chi just brought him to his side. All he wanted was to be Mr. Kai's tool. Although the goal now is the same. I can fight on my own. There's no point in hiding behind you all the time. Naruto thought he was hallucinating, but the temperature he felt was real. Uncle. Naruto used his hands and feet to hold Qing. Welcome back. I missed you so much. I miss you too. Let's go home. He picked up Naruto and waved goodbye to the seniors behind him. Uncle, how long will you stay at home? Naruto hugged Qing's neck and rubbed his face against him. I'll only stay for one day and leave tomorrow. In fact, going back and forth like this would waste a lot of time, but even so, Qing wanted to come back and accompany Naruto. Okay. Naruto said, a little frustrated. Let's make a promise, little Naruto. Qing gently stroked Naruto's head. The weather has been getting colder recently, how about waiting for your uncle at home? Qing felt distressed when she thought of Naruto waiting for her alone under the tree every day. Well, but, He didn't want to agree, but he also didn't want to make his uncle unhappy. Naruto, finish the homework assigned by your uncle at home. When you're done, you can wait for me at the gate. It is good. That's how it was settled. After going back to wash up, he took Naruto to the Hokage building to hand in the task. The third generation master teased me for the noise I made at the gate. Qing mentioned the matter between Bai and Kimimaro, child who completely inherited the bloodline limit. If they could win over Konoha, it would indeed be a great force for Konoha, but if they were to be kept in the name of Konoha, it would be tantamount to opposing the water country. I will think about this matter carefully. Chapter 120. Qing only has one day to spend with Naruto. On this day, we spent the whole day together, from breakfast in the morning, shopping at noon, to bathing and sleeping in the evening. Speaking of things outside, Qing mentioned Bai and Kimimaro to Naruto. They are both good kids, you will definitely get along well. After listening to their story, Naruto's emphasis was somewhat off. I envy them so much for being able to be with their uncle. Qing assured Naruto that this wouldn't last long. After you go to ninja school, your uncle will quit his job and stay in the village with you. Yes, we agreed. The next morning, Qing didn't let Naruto see him off. He woke him up, said something, and left meters within the specified time, but to Naruto's friends, it was as if Naruto had suddenly disappeared. Before, Naruto went out early and came back late, so he missed the time with the children perfectly. Now he's staying at home to study, so naturally they haven't seen each other for a long time. Although it is troublesome, I can't resist Shikamaru's request. That day Shikamaru accompanied Choji to Naruto's house to see how he was doing. The two rang the doorbell. After a while, Naruto opened the door listlessly and invited them in. Are you okay, Naruto? Are you hungry? Choji took out some snacks from his bag and shared them with him. Thank you, Choji. Naruto accepted it with emotion, but I'm not hungry. He took out the snacks that Qing had just bought from the cupboard and gave them to Choji. This is super delicious. The two people over there were sharing snacks, and Shikamaru noticed the album on the table in the living room. Are you looking at this? Shikamaru, who inherited his father's IQ, stopped watching this kind of stuff before he was 2 years old. Naruto nodded with a bitter face. I have to learn it before my uncle comes back, but there are many words I can't read. Naruto wanted his uncle to praise him, but he only read half of the article after stumbling over it. Naruto counted on his fingers and told his friends about his homework. Choji felt a little sympathetic. Naruto is so pitiful. Because he also didn't like studying and could understand Naruto's pain. In fact, Qing's main purpose was to make Naruto's life more fulfilling, but he acted on impulse and ignored the level of knowledge Naruto possessed. Shikamaru pointed at the top of the text and said, isn't there a note on the pinyin here? You can understand it as long as you learn the pinyin first. He gave advice. But then, when Shikamaru saw Naruto's sparkling eyes staring at him, it was too late for him to run, as expected of Shikamaru. So smart. Naruto had everything he needed. He found the pronunciation card and gave it to Shikamaru, saying sincerely, I'm counting on you. Teacher Shikamaru. Wow, Shikamaru-sensei is such a cool name. Choji agreed. No, that's too much trouble. Shikamaru refused. Please, Mr. Shikamaru, you're the best. Naruto held his hand and shook it. With those blue eyes and that cute face, it's hard to resist when she acts coquettishly. Naruto, who has become accustomed to acting like a spoiled child with Qing, has become increasingly adept at it lately. Besides, children always have a little vanity, and Shikamaru, who always talks about troubles, is no exception. Gradually, I got lost in the sound of Shikamaru-sensei being called out one after another. He covered his face with one hand. Hey, I'll only teach you once. Yes, I will study hard, teacher Shikamaru. Naruto was very motivated and sat on the other side of the table with a serious look on his face. Chapter 121. Naruto's motivation seemed to have a magical power. Xiao who was originally planning to just watch the show from the side, couldn't help but want to join in. He sat down next to Naruto and together they stared at Shikamaru. When the parents of the other two children came over, the three little ones were fast asleep on the tatami, with children's books and pinyin cards scattered around them. With Narashikaku's understanding of his own boy's abilities, he would have stopped looking at this knowledge a long time ago. With his current knowledge, he has no problem reading novels and articles, so it was obvious that he played the role of teacher in front of the other two children. Choji's father, Akemichi Choza, held his son in his arms with one hand. Ha. It seems that Choji is studying hard today. Although he had no requirements for his son, he was still very pleased that his son took the initiative to learn. Liu Jiayu was very surprised. He knew his son's character best, but he actually agreed to such a troublesome thing. Shikaku couldn't help but keep his eyes on Naruto. Originally, the two of them just needed to take their son away, but the two adults agreed and woke their son up. Shikamaru woke up and was startled to see that it was getting dark. Son's head, squatted in front of Naruto, reached out and patted Naruto to him up. Say goodbye before you leave. The adults at home are not at home, and I would be lonely if I woke up and found myself alone. Shikamaru immediately understood his father's intention. What awake trouble. Hey Naruto, we're going back. See you tomorrow. Suddenly, the gentle father felt so disgusting. Naruto, huh? Bye. Choji woke up and fell asleep again. See you tomorrow. Naruto was still a little dazed. Thank you for today, Shikamaru dad, and goodbye, Choji dad. Even though he was very sleepy, Naruto insisted on getting up and sending the guests to the gate. Shikaku had noticed the barrier around him when he was around, and his impression of Naruto had completely changed today. Just send him here. Dinner, Akemichi. Choza also said the same thing. Shikaku knew how much Qing valued Naruto, and Qing's itinerary when he went out was also unknown. Shikaku also didn't want the children that his juniors were caring for to go hungry. Moreover, it is reasonable to take care of the younger generation of family members and friends of your son. He marveled at how Qing was able to teach a child who had been neglected and maliciously excluded since childhood to his current level in such a short period of time. Think about it, what was Uzumaki Naruto like the last time you saw him? His whole body exudes inferiority, confusion and helplessness. Now? It's like being immersed in love. Moreover, the only parent in the family is away on a business trip. The fact that such a young child can look after the house and take care of himself is enough to be admired. Naruto felt the kindness the two adults showed him and nodded a little embarrassedly. Thank you, uncles. This is the first time I was invited by my friend's parents. Shikamaru's father and Choji's father are such nice people. With his thoughts written all over his face, Naruto waved goodbye to the two. They have agreed to study together again tomorrow. Naruto returned to his home where he was alone. But he didn't feel lonely at all. The next day, when Shikamaru and Choji came to visit, there was a little tail following them. Chapter 122. Following behind Shikamaru and Choji was a little blonde lolly. She grabbed Choji's clothes, poked her head out from behind him, looked at Naruto, frowned, took a step forward, put her hands on her hips and stared at Naruto. Naruto froze when he was looked at like this. He resisted the urge to turn around and run, and took a step back timidly. You? Who are you? I know, Naruto is starting to be afraid of you. Choji stood in front of Naruto to block his view. She is Yamanaka. I know. Our three families have been friends since our ancestors. Shikamaru sighed. We met on the way here. She had to follow us. Why? Are you excluding me? Little Ino acted like a big sister. Go away, Choji. She pushed Choji away, and Naruto was once again exposed to view. I know you. You are the Kyuubi. This in a while, was stunned for a moment. I know. Choji was torn between the two. Don't say that, Naruto. Being protected by my friends like this, my depressed mood was swept away. Imitated Ino, raised his chin and put his hands on his hips. He remembered the seal his uncle had mentioned, and admitted generously, I am the nine-tailed fox, but I have a name. Smile. Ino had seen Naruto on the road before, and he wasn't like this back then. What she saw now was different from the rumors she had heard after being praised back. She smiled and put her hand on Naruto's head and smoothed it, acting like a complete older sister. You are much cuter than Shikamaru and Choji. They are not cute at all. We'll be friends from now on. Although they were inexplicably disliked, Shikamaru and Choji felt relieved that they could live in peace with each other. After entering, Ino looked at the house curiously. It was too quiet. The only sound was their voice. Where are your adults? Uncle is off on a mission. Naruto led the way, brought him to the living room, and then went to the kitchen to get a few bottles of juice. You're welcome. Being able to entertain friends at home like this was something Naruto had never dared to imagine before. Ino looked at the toys in the closet. When will your uncle come back? I don't know. Naruto shook his head, but uncle said he will be back when everything in the refrigerator is gone. Aren't you afraid of looking after the house alone at such a young age? Ino sometimes feels lonely when she wakes up and doesn't see her mother. Naruto shook his head and grinned. This is my uncle and I's home. I'm not afraid at home. Qing was not at home, but there were already traces of their life in the house. A large and a small towel and toothbrush, as well as clothes mixed together in the closet, etc. Naruto, you are so brave. Ino gave Naruto a thumbs up. Naruto smiled shyly after being praised again, and the shy smile made Ino's heart itch. Naruto, treat me as my brother. I will take you home today. Today's study is more exciting and lively than yesterday because of Ino's joining. If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelist. There you'll find the original version of this story, and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We're waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 123, unrelated to the small extra story of Shisui, Itachi, and Qing. Title: The struggle between Shisui and Itachi. Not, after the 5 major ninja villages signed a peace agreement, the entire ninja world fell into a long-awaited era of peace. Everyone had a rare moment to breathe, of course. This does not include the photographers from each major village and their assistants Uchiha Shisui and Uchiha Itachi, 2 disabled people who have retired due to injuries, live a dire and intrigued life every day. Qing's career has long been stable, and the people in the pet shop are all capable people whom he has promoted. Now he just needs to step in and solve difficult problems when they arise. Qing, who was holding a cup of tea, was suddenly knocked down. He raised his hand to hold the teacup to prevent a drop of water from falling. Looking up at the blue sky and white clouds, he showed no sign of wanting to get up. Then, he was pulled up and into the arms of another person. Qing, who was accustomed to such things, was indifferent. Shisui has grown into a steady and mature man, provided that he is not with Uchiha Itachi. The one eye he had left looked at Qing lovingly, and his no longer suppressed love was like the waves of the ocean. Qing's gaze fell on the other eye that was scarred and tightly closed. Shisui raised the corners of his mouth slightly, held Qing's face with both hands, and got closer. Cough, cough. Just when Shisui's lips were about to touch Qing, a violent cough was heard. Qing's attention was instantly drawn away. Itachi was seen covering his mouth with one hand, with scarlet blood dripping from between his slender fingers. His face was so pale that it was almost transparent, as if he would fall down at any time. How are you, Itachi? Qing supported him, green healing chakra condensed in the palm of his hand. Are you feeling uncomfortable? I'll go get Lady Tsunade. No need, brother Qing. Itachi's clean hand clasped Qing's palm, interlocking their fingers. It's just an old injury that's recurring, just take a rest. He leaned weakly on Qing. I'm sorry, I made brother Qing worry. But in Shisui's eyes, it was as if Itachi was hugging Qing. Qing hadn't heard Itachi call him like this for a long time, so he softened his heart. Don't say such things. He also knew that Itachi's injuries could not be fully recovered, and he could only rely on good rest to alleviate them. It hurts a lot, I'll go get you some medicine. Qing pulled his hand back and laid Itachi flat on the tatami. Itachi didn't have time to catch it. Now, Itachi and Shisui were the only ones left. Itachi sat up straight, and it seemed as if his previous weakness was just an illusion. Brother Qing? Are you a child who hasn't been weaned? Itachi glanced at him and sneered, as long as it's useful. Besides, You're no different. Deliberately remove the blindfold. A few minutes after Qing left, the two started fighting. The yard was in a mess. The two men's attacks were ruthless, and each move was enough to be fatal. Crush the medicine bottle in his hand. Very well, Qing's character design is posted in the discussion circle. Chapter 124, unrelated to the extra. Noticing Qing's presence, they were both stunned. But the ninjutsu could no longer be stopped, and both of them were unable to dodge each other's moves and had to withstand the blow head-on. Qing sent the two childish kids to the hospital with a cold face. Dragging one in each hand, you will definitely get people turning their heads to look at you on the road. Sakura was shocked it could have hurt them like this. Qing snorted coldly and then replied to Xiaoying with a smile, no, they are just doing rehabilitation training. Sakura, whose rehabilitation training would leave him in such a half-dead state. She didn't understand the world of masters, but she really wanted to understand what was going on between the three of them. After treating the wounds of the two, Xiaoying blushed and shyly leaned close to Qing's ear and asked quietly, so, Brother Qi, have you decided who you want to choose? As soon as these words were spoken, all the nurses and patients in the department stopped what they were doing, shut up, and pricked up their ears to listen carefully to what was being said over here. Qing was stunned for a few seconds before he realized what Xiaoying was referring to. His face flushed red from his ears to his neck. What nonsense are you talking about, Xiaoying? I'm going back first. Tell them to crawl back home when they are done. After saying this, he fled away. Everyone present had a meaningful expression. Sakura pushed open the wards of the two big brothers and said with a smile, did you hear that? It seems that brothers still need to work hard. The love triangle between these three had long been known throughout Konoha Ninja. Who knows if you will be sacrificed in the next mission, so you cherish the people around you very much? Next week is the wedding of Master and Lord Jiraiya. Brothers, this is a good time. Sakura winked at the two of them playfully. If we look at it from the perspective of Qing, the person involved, it would be difficult for anyone to make a decision, whether it was Shisui or Itachi. Sakura thinks that if it were her, only children who haven't graduated from the ninja school will make a choice. As a mature jonin, you have to have it all. Shisui and Itachi looked at each other. Some words didn't need to be said, they knew what each other meant with just a glance. Shisui, we'll find out next week. Itachi raised his eyebrows, that's exactly what I meant. After Qing left the hospital, Xiaoying's words kept echoing in his head, and he felt a little depressed. Sunlight, a familiar aura appeared beside him. What's wrong, Aking? Are you in a bad mood? I see confusion in your eyes. The opening remarks were like those of a close brother. If it had happened under other circumstances, Qing would definitely have been able to hear the discomfort in Minato's tone. But now he was immersed in other emotions and didn't notice it. Qing hugged her legs like a trapped animal. I think my life is good now, and I don't want any changes to disrupt my current rhythm of life. Of course he knew about Itachi and Shisui's feelings for him, but both of them were important to him, and he was unwilling to pierce that veil, so he chose to turn a blind eye. If he really had to choose between the two, Qing would rather maintain his current life and not choose anyone else. You can call him greedy or escaping, but Qing can't make a choice between the two of them. I might as well go to the mountains to calm down for a while. Chapter 125, unrelated to the extra. Hearing that Qing showed signs of wanting to escape, he decided to go to the mountains. Brother Schumann, isn't it inappropriate? The moral education knowledge and the concept of a couple for life that we learned during the 9 years of compulsory education are already ingrained in our DNA. There is absolutely no development in the direction of the past three people. Follow your heart, don't escape, try to feel their feelings positively. Schumann pointed Qing's heart, no one can force you, follow your heart. No matter what decision you make, your brother and sister-in-law will stand by you, Qing was a little dazed and couldn't help but question whether he had not been able to integrate into this world well. He sniffed. Thank you, Minato, I'll think about it. Well, I trust you. You can always come to me for advice if you have any troubles. Thank you. Brother Schumann. Anyone when his peers were in adolescence, he was already worrying about food and clothing. Minato watched Qing leave with a smile on his face. When he could no longer see Qing, he rubbed his stiff cheeks and let out a long sigh. He took out the pager he had on him and said, "Wife, mission accomplished." Kushina's appreciative drum voice came from the pager. "Well done, dear. I'll give you an extra chicken stick tonight." Kushina was very concerned about Qing's situation. By the way, she was in the team standing with 3 people. That's right, for this talk, Minato came with an important mission, so he felt a little guilty, but Qing didn't notice. However, Minato also sincerely felt that it was a good thing to have one more person to love and take care of Qing. A ninja's life is full of uncertainty, short or long, and no one can guarantee what will happen tomorrow. If it weren't for Qing, the wood couple have ended their lives many years ago. They would not have been able to see their newborn son grow up, and would not have been able to have the life they have now. After living his life again, Minato has become more open-minded about many things. Qing spent the first stage of his life thinking about others, and it is time for him to focus on his own affairs. They all hope that Qing can be happy compete fairly then, but is it really possible? Whoever can impress Qing first in this matter will get the chance to be with him. It is impossible to have fair competition without playing tricks, and so, that night, 2 sneaky figures sneaked into Qing's room one after another. Just as they put their hands into the quilt, they touched each other's hands. It doesn't feel right. At the same time, the lights in the room came on. Shisui and Itachi looked at their linked hands, then at each other, silently staring at each other, both wearing only fishnet shirts and shorts. They saw the disgust in each other's expressions. He shook his hands off, causing the quilt to slide off. There was no sign of Qing on the bed. Under the quilt was a large pillow that lied the same size as his body, with a line of words written on it. "I'm going out for a few days, please don't disturb me." End of this chapter. Thank you very much for reaching the end. Don't forget to like. Looking for more exclusive content and immediate access? Subscribe to our Patreon. Remember, every like, subscription, or donation encourages us to continue. Thanks to everyone. See you in the next video.